How to get your motivated sellers to open up and actually give their bottom line price to you. If you've been talking to motivated sellers and you just struggle to get their bottom line price, their best price out of their mouth, this is gonna be the complete video to show you. The truth is, the best way to get the best price out of a motivated seller is by asking the right questions and the right things to your motivated seller. And what I have found, there are 4 different ways that I have personally used in my own wholesaling real estate operations to get the seller to get their best price out there. And the reason why I love doing this is because you can go from doing $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 wholesaling deals to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 wholesaling deals by not just doing any more deals, but by just making more per deal. This always comes from getting lower prices and still selling at the same prices to your cash buyers, which makes you more assignment fees and more money in your pocket in wholesaling real estate. Most motivated sellers will not naturally open up their bottom line price for you. You're gonna have to get it out of them by asking the right questions with these 4 strategies. And like I've said before, it's all about asking the right questions. Questions are key here to getting the motivated seller to actually open up and give their best price to you. Now, the first way of actually just getting the bottom line price from your seller is simply by asking for it. Now, I know this is the most obvious one, and this is why I listed it first, but a lot of wholesalers just kind of forget this, right? You spit out an offer first and your seller says yes to it and you don't get their bottom line price. Or they say, oh, I don't know what I want to sell it for. Simply just repeating that question back to them or just saying it again and just asking, how much do you need to sell the property for, is going to help you out a lot. Now, I need you to understand, I didn't say, what do you want for the house? I was very careful with the words I said. I didn't say what they want for the house. I asked them what they needed to sell their house for. Now, just changing the word want to need is a huge difference when it comes to the psychology of selling, especially when talking to motivated sellers. Because I said need versus want, it automatically goes to what they really want for a really tippy top price to what they just gotta get rid of the house for, which will psychologically bring them down on price and hopefully to that bottom line price that we actually want. Now, the key here to asking the seller what they need to sell the house for, it's not even about the words you say, it's how you say it. And I've said this a lot before with scripts, but it's never about the script, it's about how you say the script, the tonality. And so one important part of just making sure the seller actually gives you their bottom line price is for you to have confidence and authority when you ask them the question. Hey, Mr. Seller, how much do you need to sell the property for? Saying that in an actual serious context with confidence and authority and looking straight into the seller's eyes while saying it, still in a non-confrontive way, is going to be the best way of just getting the seller to give their bottom line price. Having authority, having confidence by also being a relatable, nice person is going to be the best way of you getting that deal with this type of method. The reason why I reiterate this so many times is because most wholesalers are too afraid to ask. Just ask. The worst thing they say is a random high number, which you can just negotiate from there. The second method here, which is just called setting the stage. Setting the stage is a very powerful method. Setting the stage eliminates one of the worst parts of talking to motivated sellers when you're negotiating, which is the friend zone, or what I call in wholesaling, the maybe zone. Now, the maybe zone sucks. I hate the maybe zone. I think it's terrible. But a lot of wholesalers always get stuck in this maybe zone. And this is when you talk to a seller, they say, well, they want to sell for $150,000 and your MAO is $100,000. The max you can offer to that seller. And you say, well, could you take $70,000 because of X, Y, and Z? And they go say, maybe, I'll think about it. And now you're sitting there with your thumbs twiddling like, oh shoot, what do I do from here, right? And the really funny part about this is if you just set the stage with the seller, you would never be caught in that maybe or friend zone. And getting caught from sellers just saying maybe or I'll think about it, I usually always lose out when the seller does that. And so setting the stage is gonna be the perfect way to eliminate that option from your seller so you can really deep dive and force your seller to make an actual yes or no decision on selling their property. Now, setting the stage is basically before we give an offer to the seller. This is actually how we get the bottom line price. We're kind of conditioning it, we're preconditioning, or if you're cooking terms, you're seasoning the meat before you cook it, so it just tastes better and the offer actually becomes better. And so how I set the stage is before I go meet the seller in person, before we give a virtual offer, and you and my team, we're going to ask them, quote, hey, Mr. Seller, before we actually see you at the property tomorrow at 1 p.m., I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? The reason why I'm asking is I know you're a busy guy and I'm a busy person too. And to respect both of our times, I don't go out and see the property multiple times. I go there and I make a decision myself if I want to buy it. And I'm just asking if we can come up to an agreement. Would you be able to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? About 95% of the time, the seller's always going to say yes. Now, here's an issue. The seller will say no if they're not truly motivated or if not all the decision makers are there. This is why it's really important to ask this question, because they might be like, well, I would love to make a decision, but unfortunately my wife Sheila, she's with her sister right now out of state and she'll be back next week. Then we can both make a decision together on selling the property for that certain price. This is why you always have to condition your seller so you don't get that maybe, because you really can't even get that bottom line price. Because fast forward to when we get the offer, they want 150, we offer 60, and they say, well, maybe I'll think about it. You have to say, whoa, 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 Mr. Seller, remember when you said you were ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? I know I'm a man of my word, and I already told you I was ready to make a decision today. I was hoping you're gonna honor your word and your commitment on making a yes or no decision. I did say that, didn't I? Well, I can't do 60. I mean, me and Sheila, we were thinking about, because $90,000, and then you go from there, right? The point here is conditioning the seller will kind of force your seller to play their hand to see exactly where you are at right now with your motivated seller on getting that bottom line price out of them. Now, the third method, and a method I love using, is called the dollar bill method. And you probably watching this video because you've had some motivated sellers talk to you and they say, Zach, I don't know what I want to sell the house for. You ask them, hey, what price do you want to sell the property for? They say, I have no idea. And you know for a fact they're lying, right? And so what I like doing is asking them, hey, Mr. Seller, would you sell the property for like $1? And I know I'm saying that as a joke, but I'm really asking them this. No, I would not sell my property for $1. Okay, well, we've established you wouldn't take $1 for the property. And if some magic fairy offered you $1 million for the house, you'd probably take it, right? Of course I'd take $1 million. That's way more than what it's worth. Okay, well, we've established you'll take anywhere between $1 and $1 million. One of those numbers in between is gonna work for you. Well, I guess you're right. Well, what number is that? Well, I don't know. You make me an offer. Well, I can buy your house for $2 if you want. No, I can't do $3, $4. Like I keep going up a number until you choose it. What number is that going to be? I can do $6, $7. We were thinking 70,000. You see how kind of frustrating them a little bit, but actually getting logic in this is actually getting the bottom line price from the seller. We've established from $1 to $1 million, they will accept that range. So I'm just going to keep creeping here until they say yes, and they get so annoyed. They're like, okay, here's my bottom line price. I can tell you this has worked so many times. Now, some sellers like to be smart Alex and give you stupid answers to that, but most of the time that will get their bottom line price out of them right there and then. Now, the next one, number 4 here, is good cop, bad cop method. And if you've ever gone to freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course, you'll know I absolutely love this method. And it's the one I personally push most people to do to get the bottom line price out of the seller. And this is by you giving out a stupid lowball price and the seller having to just spit out their lowest price just to even meet your demands. And the good cop, bad cop method is pretty simple. Hey, Mr. Seller, I was talking to my partner about this property and he said he wanted to buy the house for around $50,000. You leave a pause, you see what they have to say. They're like, $50,000? I would never take $50,000 from my house. Whoa, of course. I know you would never. I'm just telling you, that's what my partner said. He hasn't seen the house. What would you take for the property? And then negotiate from there. And usually, because you offered such a very low price, your motivated seller is gonna spit out their bottom line price. Then you can negotiate from there. This gives you a lot of leverage with your negotiations and a lot of leverage when talking to motivated sellers to get the best price from the deal. But basically, after looking at these 4 methods that work, they really go hand in hand. You're trying to get the lowest price from your motivated seller. Most of it comes down from just lowballing your motivated seller really low and seeing if they'll match that and going even crazier on that, or just asking what they want for the property. These methods are gonna help you so much when it comes to getting the bottom line price from a motivated seller, because truly, you don't know what the bottom line price your motivated seller wants to sell their property for. It could be for $1, it could be $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000, and you would have offered 80 or 90 for the property. This is where I get my 90, 100,000, even my $115,000 assignment fee deals from, because I always get the bottom line price from my motivated seller. This is what you need to do to get big fat assignment fees this year in wholesaling real estate. Guys, if you want to learn more exactly how I do this and actually watch me pitch these offers live, I can't do it on YouTube here due to the privacy policy, but in my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, I'll show you step-by-step how I do it in my free course where I teach you wholesaling real estate absolutely for free. And like always, guys, if you got any value from this video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.